Greetings, folks, and welcome to another edition of Tuesday Tips with Tim. I'm Tim King with Offix Lynchburg, and today we're going to be talking about jamming. No, not rocking out with Bob Marley, but paper jams in your copier. Now, you've heard me talk about how Offix partners with some of the best brands and most reliable brands in the industry, and that remains true. So, we can almost guarantee that you're not going to run into jams very often. Now, in some of my other videos, we've talked about how to prevent paper jams ahead of time, and that's making sure that your paper trays are set to the right matching paper, and that when you're printing to the device, your print driver also shows the correct paper that you're choosing, making sure they're matched. But if you find yourself that you've run into a paper jam, let's talk about clearing it and what that looks like. First, let's understand the paper path. When you make a printer copy, the paper path runs through the paper tray in a serpentine fashion through the device, and then through the duplexing unit up here, and then out the exit tray. So this is where you're going to check along your paper route for the various jams. Now, we've got our Canon right here, and it took me a while to get this thing jammed. So if that gives you an indication of what you're running into. But I was able to successfully eventually make it jam. So the first thing we're going to do is check our paper tray exit right here, which we see nothing there. Now our device is also going to walk us through the process, which it's indicating that the jam is in the duplexing unit. Here we've got jam number 1 and a second jam down here where the paper was pulling for multiple pages. Now that we've cleared the jam, the device should check all the sensors and make sure there's no other jams located throughout. Now, in rare occasions, if you run into a jam and you can't seem to find it along the paper path anywhere, it could be that your device has run into an issue where a piece of paper has gotten caught behind the tray. It's okay to pull the tray out and look deep down in there to make sure there's no pieces of paper stuffed behind or broken back there. If you run into a paper jam that you can't seem to find or you keep getting errors, don't hesitate to call your service team over at Offix. You can reach them at service@offix.com. That's service@offix.com. As always, if you have any questions about upgrading or looking for a more reliable device, reach out to marketing@offix.com. That's marketing@offix.com. Like and follow our socials, and we'll see you next week.